Good morning, and thanks for tuning in. This is What's Going On Central Illinois, the Greater Peoria Public Affairs Program, a weekly check of charitable community events, organizations, and neighborhood goings-on with me, Roxy, a production of Cumulus Central Illinois. And today on the phone, we've got Brian Gorsich, and we're going to talk about MS Awareness Week. Good morning, Brian.
Good morning, Roxy.
So MS Awareness Week is coming up March 9th through the 15th. And Brian and I have known each other for a while now. And we like to have a couple beers and, talk about music. But Brian also has MS. And Brian, you have a couple board positions. Can you tell us about that?
Well, Roxy. Yeah, thanks again for having me on the show. I'm not only an MS patient, I am a board of trustee for the Greater Illinois market here in the state of Illinois, and we're on all fundraising boards. So we're the ones that drive the markets here in Illinois. About 73 counties we cover. I'm also a community council chair here in Central Illinois. Basically, community councils are the boots on the ground for the National MS Society, and we evaluate our community and plug in the resources to those who need it that the National MS Society has to offer.
So you are working to find resources to help alleviate or probably eliminate MS, and MS Awareness Week is a great opportunity for that. And off air, Brian and I were talking that for me, I know what MS is. Not everybody knows what MS is, or, is it contagious? How do you get MS? What is MS? What does it stand for? And I think you're the perfect person to learn us.
Yeah. Let me try to learn you a few.
Please.
Multiple sclerosis is an unpredictable disease of the central nervous system. Currently, there is no cure. Symptoms vary from person to person, and it may include disabling fatigue, mobility challenges, cognitive changes, vision issues. An estimated 1 million people live with MS in the United States.
Wow.
So, and we have 22,000 plus registered with us here in the state of Illinois. And we know many of them are still on the journey, and it is a journey. It's a lifelong commitment. Believe me, you can't get rid of it yet, but we are, they say we're in the room. Okay. We can get into that. Yeah.
Well, that's great.
Pretty exciting.
Progress. So I wondered, how long have you been diagnosed with MS?
So this is my 25th year living
wow.
with this. Yeah. And, most people are diagnosed between the ages of 20 and 50. I was just 35 and 10 months into a new job and just loving life's adventures, and suddenly waking up one morning with walking and balance issues shifted my whole world. And once I got to the hospital and after a series of tests, I was diagnosed with relapsing remitting multiple sclerosis.
So there are different kinds of multiple sclerosis.
Yep. There's 4 kinds, and so basically clinically isolated syndrome, CIS, that'll be, you'll have one exacerbation and then life goes on. I live with what they call relapsing remitting multiple sclerosis. So I will go along life. I will have an exacerbation. I will, might be a long exacerbation. It might be a short exacerbation. I might get partial recovery, and I might get full recovery. And so that's been going on in my life, and it's suspected since 1983.
That's what I was going to ask it. How long before you were diagnosed do they think that you were living with it? Because I know that is the story I hear a lot.
Right. And, exciting developments with research funded by the National Multiple Sclerosis Society. We now know that the Epstein-Barr virus, the monovirus, is one of the triggers for multiple sclerosis. And how many of us have had that disease go through, or that virus go through our bodies? About 95% of the population, and
Whoa.
don't even realize it. Doesn't mean 95% of the population is going to get MS.
Right.
There's a lot of research showing there's probably some more environmental triggers involved here too. That we'll get into that. And the year after we found out about the Epstein-Barr virus, we identified a toxin that lives in the guts of multiple sclerosis patients that they think might be the exacerbator. So more exciting news on the front with that too.
Very exciting. That is just amazing progress. Identifying the variables is huge.
Roxy, more progress. Now, 1946 is when Sylvia Lowry started the MS Society with no medical background whatsoever. She did it for the love of her brother, Bernard, who was diagnosed with it, put an ad in the New York Times asking people to connect with a patient so they can begin a support system and open up research for this. And this was a time that polio vaccine was developed, and a cure was found for that.
Right.
So there was a lot of excitement. And Sylvia, being a woman, you can understand that. And being in 1946, you definitely know this was a male-dominated world. She just blew the doors off the research on it.
Go Sylvia.
Yeah.
So we're not necessarily celebrating MS, but we're wanting people to be more aware. And that is what MS Awareness Week is all about. March 9th through the 15th. It's coming up fast. Now, Brian, what are you doing for MS Awareness Week? What are the programs, I guess?
Okay, so what we're going to be pushing out to all of our media outlets is our MS Awareness Toolkit. And it talks about all of our campaign, provides you with the tools, and all of the links, all the Facebooks. It might be something as simple as tagging us in a social media post.
Okay.
And we're often raising awareness together. We will be lighting our Central Illinois Community Council, along with our partners at Illinois Neurological Institute, are lighting the Murray Baker Bridge on March 10th. And we'd like to invite the community to come out to the Putt Club in East Peoria with a bird's eye view of the bridge and eat some pizza with us and meet the MS community, and sign up for Walk MS Peoria coming up May 17th down at the beautiful Peoria Riverfront. So, yeah, it's going to be a fun day, fun night, starting at 4 o'clock. And we'll probably be there. Here they have a lot of beer, so you never know.
The Putt Club is a beautiful view of the bridge, and I've had the pizza, Brian. It's solid.
All right.
And who doesn't love a nice party with beautiful lights? And the MS Society's lights are orange. Is that correct?
That's right.
I love it.
We'll light it up orange.
I'm talking with Brian Gorsich. He is an MS patient, and he's also on the board of trustees, and he's a chairman of the MS societies all over the place. It's MS Awareness Week coming up March 9th through the 15th. Brian just told me about the Putt Club viewing party March 10th to see the Murray Baker Bridge lit up to celebrate MS Awareness Week. And you mentioned Walk MS. When is that?
Yeah. Walk MS, May 17th, down the Peoria Riverfront.
Before we know it, it'll be here.
Yep. Be here before you know it. A lot of us have already started our fundraising. I think we got 150 people registered so far. A couple of national teams, really excited. Businesses. I even saw the Pottstown Tap team get formed here yesterday.
You gotta love the Pottstown Tap, man.
Yeah, gotta love the Pottstown. A little plug for Pottstown Tap. Yeah, and what else is our friends at Peoria Heights Helping Hands will be doing a fundraiser in March for us.
Nice.
I'm sorry, March and April. Pontiac, Canton, and Peoria Heights. These guys are great. I love them.
Yes.
Let's see, what else we have on March 29th. We'll be over in Bloomington with Carl Health and Fitness for a little symposium breaking down barriers to physical activity and healthy living with multiple sclerosis. Roxy, there's nothing we don't do.
Well, and I'm so glad you mentioned that. I've already mentioned Brian and I've known each other for many years because of MS Society, and just working with them and meeting at the Fox Pub, But but what is my vision of MS, just growing up, whatever, is that people are incapacitated and you are anything but, or you are just, you push through. But I also have a good friend that my friend Shauna. She, very similar, like the determination, the motivation. How hard is it for you? Because you go and you do. and how hard is that for you to get up every day, put on that amazing smile, and go about your business?
Well, I have kind of flipped the switch on this disease, I like to think to myself. And all of my volunteer work has just been my driving force, helping my brothers and sisters in the MS community. And Roxy, this whole switch, when I tell you it was an act of God, it was an act of God. When that F4 tornado came through our home here in Washington, Illinois,
yes,
and those first volunteers hit our property, man in a yellow fake safety vest is walking up to our house. And excuse me for getting choked up on this one, but a man in a yellow safety vest walks up to our house and he says to us, "Folks, looks like you used a little help." And the lights came on. That one volunteer turned into hundreds, turned into thousands of volunteers. And everyone showed me, no matter what my ability is, as long as I'm serving my fellow man, I'm in the right spot. And my heart has been so full ever since. And it is my driving force to get me out of bed to help other people every day.
And I'm assuming there are days that you're like, I don't know that I can do this. Because I know, like you said before with MS, there are 4 different types. But what you have is a reoccurring, it comes back and haunts you more some days than others, correct?
Right. It all depends on how much damage was done by the scarring.
Okay.
And then, we didn't really finish that conversation. It was not only relapsing, remitting, and then there's secondary progressive, which they say relapsing, remitting will turn into a secondary progressive, which is more of a decline.
Okay.
And then there's primary progressive. And so what that is from the onset, it's a very rapid decline in disability. So being a snowflake disease, you're going to see people that are totally bedridden with this disease, and you will see people running marathons with this disease. It just baffles my mind.
It's like a crapshoot.
It's a crapshoot. That's exactly right.
And I love that you call that a snowflake disease, that like no 2 patients are the same.
Right. Exactly right.
The mystery of MS, and that is why MS Awareness Week is so important, March 9th through the 15th. I'm talking with Brian Gorsich, and we're covering all the bases here. Before, and Brian and I can talk for days, but they put time limits on me, Brian. I don't understand.
I know it. But, even though multiple sclerosis or MS stands for multiple sclerosis now,
yes,
hopefully someday it'll stand for mystery solved.
That was amazing.
That's a closer, isn't it?
Good job. Before I let you go, though, I mean, we should stop there, but before I let you go, yeah, that was really great. Facebook, what was that Facebook again?
So follow us, tag us, like us, share us. We are the National Multiple Sclerosis Society Central Illinois Community Council. Woo!
It's a mouthful, but it gets the point across. And is there a good website for people to maybe like this toolkit?
Yes, so that's nationalmssociety.org.
nationalmssociety.org.
Yep.
And you can get the MS Awareness Campaign Toolkit. It tells you how you can be a part of the solution, and I think it is amazing. And the Awareness Week, Putt Club, the Murray Baker Bridge being lit up in the colors of MS. Walk MS, May 17th on the beautiful Peoria Riverfront. Get all the info on Facebook, website, and we'll get some info up on our Facebooks as well so people can just click and go. Brian, before I let you go, any closing words that you want people to know about MS?
We need you. We need you. We need each and every one of you to help us raise awareness, attend our events, make donations, sponsor our events. We are the number one cure. We are the number one investment for a cure in multiple sclerosis.
I love it. Thank you so much for all you do in the fight and all you do for the community otherwise, because you're always out there being positive, making a difference, and we need more of that in our world. Brian Gorsich with MS Awareness Week. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Roxy. Love ya.
Take care, man. See you soon.
All right, buddy.
All right.
Bye-bye.
That was Brian Gorsich with the MS Society. MS Awareness Week is coming up, and you can get all the information. Check it out on Facebook. This has been another episode of What's Going On Central Illinois, the Greater Peoria Public Affairs Program, a weekly check of charitable community events, organizations, and neighborhood goings-on with me, Roxy. This is a production of Cumulus Central Illinois. Thank you so much for tuning in. Now get out there and make some beautiful memories, and do your best to be kind to all kinds. That doesn't cost a thing. We'll be back next week with another episode of What's Going On Central Illinois. Until then, be safe out there.